I'm going to take a stab at doing something different today, but I'm putting my trust in your hands because I'm guessing 95% of the DJs who watch this video are about to be offended by what I say. But what comes out of my mouth next is absolutely true. So for the 5% of you who aren't offended, who are looking to learn, who are looking to build your business and really make some money here, this video is for you. You ready? 30% of your job as a DJ has to do with this thing right here. The board, the turntables, the ones and the twos, which means 70% of what goes into you being successful as a mobile DJ, whether it's a club, a party, weddings, corporate events, you're leaving 70% of what actually matters as a DJ completely behind the scenes. You're not even worried about it. You're spending 100% of your focus on something that only matters 30% towards your success. Don't let that happen to you. This video is going to show you how to skyrocket through the ranks because you're going to skip that. You're going to focus on the whole totality of what it means to be a DJ and not just 30% of what goes into this job. Let's get into it. And by the end of this video, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to get better at that 70%. So stay tuned and let's really just get you guys off the ground, man. Let's get you making money and working for yourself. Here's the deal. I'm not talking to established turntablists. They're the one group of people that I'm not talking to. If you're like a battle DJ and you're working on an hour-long routine, like a James Hype type guy, most of what you do has to do with the turntables. But I would say even to them, it's only 75%. There's still 25% that goes into what they're doing. For us as mobile DJs though, which is 95% of the people out here in the planet who DJ, you haven't made it. You're not at a festival. People aren't there to see you scratch. They're there to have a good time. They're there because you're the hired DJ, but they're there for another reason. They went to the club that night. They went to the bar that night. They went to a wedding. They went to a corporate event. None of those things are, I can't wait to go see Adam, that specific DJ, go DJ. I'm buying tickets to see him. That's my name. No, that's not happening to most of us. We're really just performing for the people who are there for a different reason, and we're the entertainment that was hired, okay? So if you're in that kind of a situation, which most of us are all of the time, this board right here is worth maybe 25%. I'll give it 30% of what we're doing. But that means you got 70% of what we are actually doing that goes off of the board. So what is it, and how can we get better at it? 70% of this job is maintaining expectations from the crowd, from whoever hired you, and then creating the vibe that they expected, those expectations, for you to create. I'm telling you that most of what goes into being a mobile DJ has nothing to do with your skills on the ones and twos. We're granted you can get in and out of songs and transition smoothly. If you can do just that, you've got the skills to handle the 30% that goes into the job that happens on the board. That's what I keep trying to explain to people. Stop spending so much time on every little button on this board and how you can loop perfectly and do these little triggers and have all these things preset. Nobody in the audience cares. Maybe one person is going to recognize what you're doing out of 200. And that person has just nothing to do with you getting rehired at all. I'm not saying don't be good at the board. Master your board. Master that 30%. But if you ignore the other 70% of what goes into this job, which is something that I was blessed with naturally, I'm going to skyrocket past you. I'm going to get all of the bookings over you. And I do. And this is why I stay booked. So I'm not here to tell you what to do. Believe me, if you just love this board and it's your home and it's your comfort zone whenever somebody starts looking at you and you feel uncomfortable because you can feel eyes looking at you and you don't want to make eyes with them and you're more of an introvert, so you stare down at the board and now you're comfortable because you don't have to make eye contact and you can pretend that you've got something else going on because you don't want to look at people, you shouldn't be a DJ. Our job is to connect. That 70% is to connect with the people out in the crowd and allow them to feel what I'm feeling. I am the conductor. The 70% is conducting the audience, the crowd. They're your symphony. I promise you this is how it works. Okay, so if it's like they're not playing any instruments, but what they are doing is responding to the vibe that you create. So like the conductor, for example, if they want you to get really big over there from the horn section, they're going to get like this. They're going to be like this. Instead of, if they wanted quiet from the piccolos, they're going to be, right? They're playing the symphony, but the symphony is actually playing the music. The conductor is playing the people. And as the DJ, you're playing the people. Yes, you're playing the music. That's the 30% of it. That means, the conductor doing this is like 30% of it. But 70% of what he's actually or she is doing is playing the people, getting more out of my bassoons, getting less, that's too much for my trumpets, more out of the timpanis, less out of the oboe. They're playing the crowd to create a vibe that fits for the whole room and that everyone then can appreciate. And that is what your job is as a DJ. I get so passionate about this. If you got the 30% down, how can you practice the 70%? How can you be a better conductor? How can you create a vibe? How do we even do that? Well, you got to get better at people looking at you doing something a little embarrassing, okay? So here's how you get past this, because this is the part that most DJs, they skip because it's really uncomfortable. You're not going to want to do this, but I promise you, if you do it, it will skyrocket your skills way more than spending 10 hours on the board practicing, okay? And you can do it in half an hour. Here's what you do. When I was 22 years old, I was trying to become a better singer-songwriter. I mean, I play all the instruments. I play guitar, I sing. I was really big in that in college. I was the lead singer of a band, and I was trying to get better at vocals. I'm not a very good singer. I'm just not. I can play the drums, piano, guitar, bass, with the best of them. I'm not a great singer. But I have the personality to do it. I was really nervous to sing in front of people because I know I wasn't very good at it. I never took lessons or anything. I just taught myself. So what did I do to overcome that fear of people looking at me while I'm singing and doing something that I'm maybe not so great at or not confident at? I brought my guitar to the corner of a very, very popular city street right outside of Washington, D.C. I opened up my bag, pulled out my guitar, closed it so people didn't think that I was asking for tips, and I would just start practicing like I was in my bedroom, singing and playing guitar on the corner. People walking by, most people would not even look at me or pay me the time of day. No, nothing. They would have nothing to do with me. But do you know how hard that was for 21-year-old Adam, 22-year-old Adam, to go out there doing the one part of the music world that I was very insecure about, which was singing, and to do it in front of everyone, people I don't know, just a whole bunch of people walking around, young, old, attractive, not so much, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You got to get comfortable at doing stuff in front of people. And because I did that, God, I'm so grateful I did that years ago. I'm almost 40 now. And that has stuck with me for years. That's allowed me to get so much more comfortable in front of a crowd. So maybe you don't want to do that because we're not going to go and DJ in front of like a city corner. But what you can do, first off, next time you're in front of a group of people, not in front of, but just around a group of people, let's say you walk into Target. Perfect. There are so many things that we can do in this Target to help you with your presence and your ability to set a tone. First off, power position. What is that? See how awkward it feels to walk into a Target. Just walk into any room and go like this. Take a deep breath with your chest out as if it's being hung from the ceiling. That's good posture. You want to imagine that there's a hook in the middle of your chest and it's hanging from the ceiling. That's how they teach good posture. Then you want to take a deep breath through your nose and let your arms all the way out to the side. Watch how freaking weird you feel when you walk into a store or a group of people who can see you and you just do that. But after the initial feeling of feeling awkward, you're going to feel, oh, nothing happened. I'm not bleeding. I didn't die. In fact, I'm in control of this situation. You just walk in. And if somebody sees you do it, even better, because we don't want to shy away. I'm sorry. No. I'm here to set the tone. And if somebody sees me, you acknowledge them. And you don't change a darn thing what you're doing. I'm doing this. I'm setting the tone. Comfort, power, in charge, confidence. Do that in front of a group of people and see how awkward it feels. And do it again and again and again until it stops feeling so awkward, until you start realizing I'm in control of my situation. People looking at me thinking I might be weird, that's all in my own head. Doesn't matter what people think of me. I'm in control, and I'm being paid to do that control. So I better be confident in my ability to do it. Walk into a store, power position, open your arms, take a deep breath, hang in from the ceiling right here from your chest. Take a deep breath, look around, and if people look at you and make eye contact, acknowledge them. Don't break eyes. Acknowledge them with a warm smile. Step number 2. Bring a smile out of their face. Going with that smile. When you go to a cash register at that Target, engage with that customer. You might be in a shitty mood. You might be just not really feeling, super social that day. Well, guess what? You're going to go to a wedding. You're going to go to an event, and you're going to be in the same mood. That's not like every event you go to, you feel perfect, right? So let's practice that. Anytime you're in front of somebody who a conversation would be normal, have that conversation, and in that 30 seconds, challenge yourself to see if you can leave that person smiling. Not you smiling. Can you get that person to smile before you leave the interaction? So you're, checking out at Target. Instead of going to the self-checkout, go to the cashier. Use this as a training opportunity for yourself. This isn't you trying to get out of Target quickly, so you're just going to self-checkout. You're actually trying to better yourself. So you go to the cashier and they say, hey, how you doing? Instead of saying, fine, thanks, have a conversation with them. Engage them as if they were somebody coming up to your booth and talking to you, and see if you can get them to smile, because this is like a comedian going over their routine. All the comedians you see on Netflix and doing their specials, it's not the first time they've done that. They've done that 100 times exactly that way in 100 different cities, and then they go perform it for you perfectly. So use this as like one of those situations where you're like a comedian going and testing things out. Have that conversation and practice getting people to smile in the 2 minutes that you have with them. And if you can do that, you're going to do that in other situations, like when you're working and people come up and make a request and they ask for something stupid and you find a way to get them to laugh instead of turning them down and seeming like a jerk. You've gotten better at getting people to smile, right? There are ways to do that, and you can only do it by practicing. So in your daily life, no matter what the situation is, if you have a conversation with somebody, no matter how long or short, see if you can get them to smile before they leave. It's a huge leg up on what you're doing. And the other thing, the last one for you to practice so that you can get better at the 70% of DJing that has nothing to do with the 30% on the board, just setting the vibe and getting people to feel what you're feeling. Here you go. It happened to me the other day at Target, which is the reason that I thought about doing this video. And I was like, man, this is something they could get a lot out of. Okay. I was bobbing along to a song in my head. Now, there's always a song going on in my head, just like that Weezer song right now. There's always a song in my head. I forget the words. Whatever. Doesn't matter. There's a song going on in my head all the time, and I was like bobbing to it. I was having a good time. There's no music going on. I'm just bobbing in my head. And as I'm walking out of the Target, like 2 or 3 people just like made eye contact with me. They saw me. And instead of being like, it's not at all what happened. I'm going to show you exactly how this happened. And I kept walking. I acknowledged them, and I showed them, yeah, you caught me in an act of vulnerability and me doing something that I didn't necessarily know that you were watching, but it didn't bother me. I want you to see me doing this. I want you at home to get used to feeling like you're the beacon of comfort. You're setting a vibe of comfort. So even if something is happening and somebody catches you doing something you didn't notice, you can't respond with like, oh shit, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for you to see that. Everything you're doing out here should be meant for people to see because you're on stage. So don't be surprised when somebody's watching you. Sometimes they'll copy what you're doing. Like a lot of times I'll be like doing like this, and I'll see somebody in the crowd and they're like kind of like trying to figure out what I'm doing with my hands. Well, don't stop. Connect with them. Have fun with them and show them that you're there to be a part of what's going on in the night. Are you playing the Cupid Shuffle? Go out and do it with them. It has nothing to do with the board. They would so much rather the DJ go out and have a dance with them, even if it's for like a minute, than to sit here doing your most incredible scratch routine. That doesn't mean anything to them. It doesn't, unless you're a turntablist that they bought tickets to go see. It doesn't mean anything to them. So, you know, if you're somebody who like leaves comments on my videos, I woke up to one this morning that said, dude, you're so bad at DJing, it literally cured my depression. That's how I started my day today. And I said, fine, hey, cool, man, because that person's going to go out and they're going to keep making the same mistakes that I try to help you guys with, and they're going to make a terrible name for themselves, and then I'm going to make more money because I'm going to continue to get booked over these people who don't understand. It's not about the perfect transition. It is about you setting the perfect vibe. And I just gave you a couple ways to get more comfortable by having people look at you doing what you want to do. I'm not setting the vibe based on what they want. I'm setting the vibe on what I know the bride and the groom want, or the club owner wants, and then I'm confident that I can bring people along with me. No train conductor is on the way to their destination and then says over the PA, unless you guys want to go somewhere else, right? Chaos immediately. No. I'm driving the train and we're going to Party Town. You can get on or you can stay back there in the corner and not have a good time, but I'm going to do my absolute best to make sure that everybody on this train knows we're going to Party Town. Y'all with me? Hell yeah. And if you do it right, it really doesn't have anything to do with what you're doing on the board. It's all about the vibe that you're creating. So go out and practice these things. I really hope that this helps. It's just going to allow you to feel so much more confident doing that 70% that really matters, so you can skyrocket past those DJs that leave me those ridiculous comments to wake up to in the morning. I hope you got a lot out of this. Go out there, practice, and if there's anything that I can do to help, please leave me a comment. Email me, adam@djdifferently.com. I'm happy to consult with you free of charge. We'll just set up a call, and I'll help you out. I mean, I'm here to do that. That's what I like to do, and it's something that I'm passionate about. So if I can help you in any way, let me know. Good luck out there.